Hello, this is my first video of play-by-play, if you will, of refurbishing a 1977 17-foot Boston Whaler. So I picked this one up, came in last week, and I'm just going to do a series of videos on showing you, trying to give back to the community I learned, and I'm going to put some links below in the description of all the different videos where you can learn about refurbishing these boats. I figure I'd just give back to the community a little bit. So this is a 17-foot boat. It's rough, but not that rough. So I'm going to have to redo the gunnels. This is a 77 hull, so it's the first year of the Smirk. And some dude just, I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they were trying to fix this. Anyway, they failed miserably. The rest of the boat, the transom is the other thing you want to make sure of when you buy these boats. And the transom's really solid. There's a bit of cosmetic cracking here, but normally if the boat was really, if the transom was in rough shape, you would be worried you'd see cracks pretty much all the way down this tub and around the back here. So this is just basically cracking, but it's really just the gel coat. It doesn't look like it's cosmetic. I'll know more when I'm sanding. The backside, you can see here, backside of the transom is clean. Again, you would see some cracks, and it's all, normal wear and tear. It is a 77, so here's the plate. I don't know if you can tell here. So that's good about the boat. The bad is, now these boats were made of foam, so it's a sandwich on the outside, and the inside is obviously gel coat, and then in the middle there was foam, expanding foam. I'll show you what it looks like. So it's 1977 foam, so it's the type of foam that absorbs water. And in these 17-foot boats, you can find they would put in these wood inserts. You can find online where, well, sort of schematics of where they put the wood. Bottom line is, it was a good idea, but the bad thing is when people would drill the deck and do piss poor job of sealing it, this wood would just absorb the water like a sponge, and as would the foam. So now I've got a bit of a problem because when I put this boat back on the dolly, it was heavy as all hell. Now these things were supposed to be 600 pounds, maybe 700 pounds, but this thing was definitely much, much heavier than that. So I've got a decision to make, and I've made it already. So basically, I've drill these pilot holes, and you can see the sort of the remnants of the plywood in here, and it's wet. It's actually quite wet, and so I'm basically going to cut a rectangle around and see what I've got. If I'm lucky, it's just the wood. If I'm unlucky, I'm gonna have to dig out the foam too and then refoam this. It's a complete pain in the neck. Ideally, I would not touch the structure of the boat, but I really don't have much of a choice here. Originally this was, you can vaguely see, this was a side console boat, so this is where the side console would have rubbed. They made those back in 77. They would call them, I think, super sports, and it was later converted to a center console. I'm going to keep it a center console because it really kind of squares up with what the boat, what people use boats for right now, which is basically fishing, family fun. And then the engines, I'll worry about the engine later. I'm up in Canada, so this is going to be sort of a fall project and an early spring project. The boat has never been repainted. How do I tell? Because there's still some numbers on the transom. So again, the rest of the boat is pretty clean. Underneath, there's some structural damage. Sorry, I shouldn't say there isn't really any big structural damage. Really, just I'll sand it down. I'll know more once I've sanded them down. No real hardware to speak of, except on the bow here. This doesn't. I don't think it's original because these used to be, should be brass. Doesn't look like brass to me. This is original. This one, not so much. And this is the foam it was made of, or is made of. It's incredibly flimsy when you stop and think about it. And this stuff absorbs water like a sponge. So we're going to refoam this, and then we're going to fiberglass this on top, and then fair it in, and then eventually paint it. Otherwise, the boat is in really good shape. So I hope this was helpful. I'm not going to, the next video I'll start the work. I'm not going to, a lot of the guys sort of show me or show themselves working. You don't need to see that. You all know how to run a drill and a sander. But it's really, I thought, would be useful to sort of see the before and the after, and sort of the approach and some of the problems if you attack your own restoration projects, sort of how you attack it, and the decisions that we all have to make. So this boat is really not going to be a refurbishing in the sense that it's going to come back to original. There's some guys out that do this professionally. This is really to get somebody else out on the water, you know, at a reasonable price, because prices of boats these days is mainly only either wealthy or just people that want to get into debt for a long time. So there's the dolly that I made. And basically, so the boat, you're trying to prevent, a lot of these boats came with these silly roller trailers. If you got one of those, convert it to a bunk trailer before you start working on your boat, because you're likely to punch a hole through it. I hope that was helpful. That's basically all I've got for this video. So stay tuned. The next stop is to sand the deck, and obviously the gunnels, and cut through this big rectangle and see what we've got. And speak to you then.